In the frozen, unforgiving heart of Yakutia, temperatures routinely plummet to a deadly -71 degrees Celsius, freezing the very moisture in the air. For Ayar, a hardened Yakut nomad who has spent his entire life in this icy wasteland, this brutal wilderness is the only home he has ever known. While thousands of reindeer migrate across the treacherous ice to survive the winter, one tiny, fragile calf has tragically fallen behind the massive herd. Survival in this extreme climate requires constant, punishing labor from sunrise to sunset. Without the life-saving warmth of a fire, the sub-zero cold will seep into a man's bones and kill him in a matter of minutes. But firewood alone is never enough to sustain a man. The human body burns calories at an incredible rate just to shiver, requiring massive amounts of fuel. Ice fishing in these plummeting temperatures is a slow, agonizing test of patience, where every second exposed to the elements drains his core heat. Back inside the shelter, the temperature is barely above freezing, but the roaring flames finally bring a brief moment of comfort to the solitary hunter. He brews a strong, dark tea over the open flames, a Yakut, Nomad's greatest and only luxury in the frozen wasteland.
The mountain spirit warms our hearts. It boils with anger, just like the storm.
Just as he sits to rest his exhausted muscles, a faint, desperate sound cuts through the howling wind, echoing across the frozen plains. He steps out into the blinding whiteout, following the desperate cries into a storm that could easily claim his life if he wanders too far. Buried beneath the rapidly shifting snowdrifts, a newborn reindeer calf is shivering uncontrollably, completely defenseless against the sub-zero storm. Separated from the massive herd and rapidly losing body heat, the fragile creature has absolutely no chance of surviving the freezing night alone.
Gotcha. Stay close, Koyuk. We'll get through this.
Ayar knows the cruel, unforgiving laws of nature better than anyone, but looking into its eyes, he refuses to let the innocent creature die in the dark. He brings the fragile, freezing life into the safety of his sanctuary, knowing that the hardest part of the battle is only just beginning. The calf is dangerously weak. The bitter cold has seeped so deep into its bones that even the roaring fire struggles to restore its core temperature. Ayar carefully tends to the flames, placing more chopped timber onto the fire to ensure the heat remains steady and strong throughout the brutal night. Slowly but surely, the intense, radiating warmth begins to breathe life back into the tiny animal, replacing its fear with a sense of safety. A silent, unspoken bond forms between the solitary hunter and the lost calf in the freezing darkness of the Siberian wilderness. But warmth alone will not sustain them. In a landscape where every calorie means the difference between life and death, Ayar must prepare his hard-earned catch. He places the fish into a sizzling iron pan, watching as the hot oil pops and crackles directly over the roaring campfire flames. The rich, savory smell of cooked food finally fills the small shelter, providing a much-needed morale boost after a brutal day in the ice. He eats in absolute silence, grateful for the river's bounty and the temporary relief it provides his exhausted body. While the hunter feasts on meat, the newborn calf requires specialized nourishment that the freezing tundra cannot easily provide. He carefully chips away at a block of frozen reindeer milk, a precious resource he had meticulously saved for the harshest days of winter. The baby reindeer hesitates at first, unfamiliar with the metal bowl, but its overwhelming hunger quickly conquers its fear. With a full stomach and the frost finally melted from its fur, the young calf miraculously regains enough strength to stand on its own four legs. For a brief, fleeting moment, there is peace in the frozen wasteland. The tent feels incredibly cozy and safe against the harsh world outside. But in Yakutia, safety is merely an illusion waiting to be shattered. As the temperature outside plummets to a staggering -75 degrees, the blizzard becomes violent, ripping aggressively at the canvas. Ayar systematically secures the heavy canvas door, locking the deadly cold out, but he knows that extreme cold makes apex predators incredibly desperate. Outside, something massive and lethal moves silently through the blinding snow, unaffected by the freezing temperatures. Inside the tent, Ayar freezes. He slowly raises his rifle, aiming it directly at the tent door as his heart pounds against his ribs.
Whatever is out there won't get through this wall.
Something is there.
A starving
Stay
Siberian
back.
timber wolf, driven to the
know.
brink of
Get
madness
ready.
by the storm, has caught the irresistible scent of the vulnerable calf. Driven entirely by hunger, the monstrous beast stalks closer to the fragile shelter, its glowing yellow eyes fixed on the glowing orange canvas.
No! Back! Get back!
Ayar knows that a thin layer of canvas won't stop a starving predator from tearing its way inside. He realizes he must take the fight directly to the beast. The wolf lunges with terrifying speed, attempting to bypass the heavily armed hunter to reach the helpless prey cowering inside the shelter.
Get back! Back!
The alpha snarls, saliva dripping from its massive jaws as it stares aggressively past Ayar, still fixated on the terrified calf. It circles the hunter in the deep snow, looking for any opening, creating a tense life or death standoff in the freezing darkness. The deafening crack of the rifle echoes through the empty tundra, temporarily startling the beast. But the paralyzing grip of hunger keeps it anchored to the spot. Faced with a creature that has nothing left to lose, the wolf lowers its head and takes a menacing, slow step forward, refusing to back down. Ayar does not retreat. Instead, he steps forward, letting out a primal, terrifying scream of absolute dominance to assert his position as the apex predator.
Help me! Help me! Back! Stay back!
Confronted by a man who refuses to show fear, the wolf finally hesitates, its survival instincts overriding its desperate starvation as it fades back into the shadows. Ayar stands his ground in the freezing cold until the glowing yellow eyes fade entirely, ensuring the deadly threat has truly passed.
You are safe. You're finally safe.
They survived the brutal night together, finding safety in each other's presence, while the unforgiving storm raged on outside. When morning finally breaks over the Siberian tundra, the violent storm has passed, leaving behind a breathtaking landscape of pristine, untouched white snow. Though the temperature remains incredibly deadly, the clear skies signal that it is finally time for Ayar to return the calf to its rightful place. He meticulously packs his wooden sled, and without hesitation, the trusting calf follows close behind his boots, completely reliant on its protector. They trek together across the vast frozen ocean of ice, an exhausting journey that tests the physical endurance of both man and beast. Ayar scans the endless white horizon, searching for any signs of the nomadic herders that passed through the area before the blizzard hit. After hours of searching, a massive dark cloud of movement catches his eye on the horizon. The 3,000-strong reindeer herd is still migrating. Ayar immediately leads the calf down the snowy ridge toward its family, moving as quickly as the deep snow will allow.
Yes! We did it, Koyuk! We made it!
As they approach the sprawling mass of animals, a large female reindeer suddenly breaks away from the group, her frantic behavior capturing their attention. The calf instantly recognizes its mother's distinct call, sprinting across the snow in a beautiful, instinctual reunion of pure love and relief. Ayar watches them disappear into the massive sea of life, a quiet reminder that his brutal, solitary existence still has profound purpose. In the coldest place on Earth, where death is always just a heartbeat away, life always finds a way to endure.